Hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of Harshing's podcast. Today we have some special guests. Guest, please introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Alaaeddin or Alaaeddin.
Alaaeddin.
Hi, my name is Camila.
All right, guys.
I am 26 years old.
And you are, how old are you?
I'm 28.
28. Nice. So thank you guys for coming. You know, we really appreciate you guys making the time to come and talk to us. I know we've been trying to get you guys for a while. Initially, we wanted you guys to be the first guest.
I had spoken to you as soon as we kind of, so like he knew about it when we were going to start this whole thing. But yeah.
Yeah, so we told, okay, first guest has to be Alaaeddin and his girlfriend. But then his cousin came around, and then we had like scheduling.
Things happened too. I think you moved.
Yes, I moved to Las Vegas like a few months ago. It was really different from Bay Area.
Is it?
Yeah, like
the desert?
I don't know. Feels like people is really different there. It's like here you found people from different countries that I don't know. I feel more home here because I'm from Colombia. So and there it was.
It's the diversity in the Bay Area.
It is.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then there was more like people with closed minds or I love Las Vegas, you know. Going for vacation is like super cool. But more than that, I don't know if I want to live there. Also because it's super hot in the summer. Oh my God.
How long were you out there for?
3 months.
Oh, I can't take it anymore.
So thank you guys for coming. I really do appreciate it. You know,
honestly, thank you for having. No,
Thank you.
Doesn't matter when, but appreciate you, and I'm so happy that you guys have this going. I'm really happy for you guys.
It's been fun. We had a lot of conversations already with a lot of people, and it's just been therapeutical. So yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah. So quick backstory. Alaaeddin.
Yes.
I met you through Graciela and IKEA. Yep. You know,
we met at work.
Yeah, we met at work. So. Right off the bat, I like this guy, you know, like very hard worker, you know, like very like present. And I told her like, you know, okay, he'll be a good leader, you know, just from like first impressions, like,
I already knew that.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. And that was like before, I think that was a coworker at that time.
Yeah, you were. Yeah.
And it took me a while, honestly, to get it to myself, like, because a lot of people saw it in me, but I didn't see it myself. And I think that's the biggest part about it. You just got to see it yourself. Once you see that and it's over, it kicks off.
Yeah. But yeah,
you have to be motivated.
Yeah. And because of that, like, I felt like, you know, in a sense, I shared a certain, like, you know, work habit or work ethic that you did because you were always like hard workers, like right off the bat, like, okay, I like them. But yeah, so, you know, coming into the podcast, you know, my number one question is, how did you guys meet?
Honestly, we met on the dating app.
Yeah,
and then we just linked up and I went on a few dates and just off the bat, I think.
No, actually, yes, we meet in a date app and then we have like a date and he was like, where did you try boba? And I was like, no, what is that? I was new. And he was like, oh yeah, this is this drink. It's really cool. If you want, we can go. And then he ghosted me.
Okay.
He was like... Yeah, I was like, okay, what happened? I sent a text because by that moment we didn't talk more by this app. We went like phone numbers and we were
out
like,
on the table.
Yes. And he didn't answer the text, WhatsApp, anything. I was like, okay. Like, I think few weeks passed and then I said like a Snapchat story, something like that. And I was like, hey, you're alive. And he was like, oh, who are you?
My God.
Okay, a little more detail.
Can you explain yourself?
Yeah, what happened there, Alaaeddin?
Okay. So during that week, I actually broke my phone. And that was like, I don't remember when, it was like a few years ago. But legit, broke my phone and I couldn't get it back at all. I turned it to AT&T next to work. And I didn't really, they were trying to fix it for a few days and then they said they fixed it, it didn't get fixed. I ended up actually having to turn it in, get a new phone. And like, I'm gonna be honest, like it flew, like once I lost my phone, I was freaking out because like I had all my stuff on it, everything right. And a few days after I was like, okay, I'm gonna put that extra money because I had insurance on it. I had to pay $200 to fix it and all that. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna get a new phone. It's okay. And then randomly, like driving from home, driving to work, I get a text from like unknown number, and I'm like, who are you? Like, am I supposed am I supposed
to know who you are?
And then she said like, hey, we're supposed to go on a date on this day. I'm like, oh shit, I effed up. Yeah.
He actually forgot to have a date with me. Like, I was super ghost that day.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
It wasn't like planned like right the next day. It was like planned ahead, and that's actually one of my biggest opportunities is like planning on right there and just following up on it. Yeah. So I'm a lot better now. But yeah. And then from there, I was like, I'm really sorry. Like, I told her and broke my phone and all that. She probably thought I was BSing. And from there, we actually had a second date. I was like, can I make it up to you? If any way, all of that. And then she said yes.
Yeah, from that day on, everything was like amazing.
You made it up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, our first date was like he bring me to a park. I don't know the name in Alameda that is like in front of the beach.
Yeah.
I don't remember. Do you remember? We actually went for boba.
Yes.
Did you like it?
Yes, I love it. I think that's my favorite drink now.
Nice.
I cannot stop. And yeah, so and it was funny. Like, I really liked the date because we went to this park and then he was like, "Oh, there is dogs here. I bring bread. How we feed them?" And we start feeding, and then the dogs come around a lot. And I was like, "Okay, I think I'm scared now.
Can you stop now?"
Yeah, but it was pretty nice.
Good. I think there was like a guy there. He was like, "Oh, you're not supposed to feed that animals."
Oh
I
yeah. You get people like that too. Yeah.
I was like, "Okay, thank you for telling me."
Yeah, but keep going. All right. But so how did you feel? Like, I know, he stopped texting you. He said you didn't believe his story. Like, how did you feel when that happened? And then, like, why, in a sense, why did you give him like another shot?
Because when I started dating, like, I was more into try to practice my English and try to get more like confident about, speaking new language for me. And I was like, okay. And he was, in the first time, he say by the text, like, "Oh yeah, I know Spanish. And I want to learn Spanish too. So come on, let's hang out."
He knows all the bad words. That's what he knows. Yeah.
Actually, yeah.
Yeah. That's what you learn first.
Yeah. And then I was like, "Oh, you know what? No matter what, he is still interested. Let's go." I was more like planning to meet new people and being open. I didn't know that this is gonna come like 2 years. Since then.
You weren't looking for romance, but you found it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like you were like looking for like the friendship, like,
yes,
well,
more like that.
Yeah. Okay. So you guys went on the first date. What made you guys kind of want to keep talking? Like, for example, like, what did you like about Alaaeddin and what did you like about her?
I think he made me feel really comfortable. So in the beginning, he was like, if he didn't understand something, he was like so patient with me, and he was like, "You know what? Can you repeat?" Or we were looking at my phone, and I really like that. I think he helped me a lot to improve my English, and his eyes. I was like, "I love your eyes all the time, like all the time." I always like hold his face, and I was like, "If you don't have these eyes, I don't know."
I wouldn't be with you. It's the eyes.
Yeah.
The eyes are nothing. So what did you like about her?
Honestly, for me, she was very open. Like, she was being herself and just super honest. And I think the other thing that stood out to me is like she was very kind to other people around her. It doesn't matter if she knows them or not. And that was for me, it was like, okay. Because to me, I'm the kind of similar personality where like I care about everybody, doesn't matter what it is, and I'm very genuine. And she has that kind of kind-hearted sort of like personality, and I was like, okay.
I can tell she's super bubbly. Just sitting here, she's just so super bubbly. I love it.
Well, I mean, it kind of it suits you guys because you're also not like very quiet. Yeah, you're you might seem, but like you've talked a lot. You're very like talkative, so you guys complement each other in a sense. Yeah. So going with that, first day happened.
Well, how long ago was that? Like, how long have you guys been together?
I look like
2 years and a little more than 2 years.
Yes.
Almost, yeah.
Oh, I mean, yeah, 2 years.
Like in April, we have like 3 years together.
April?
Kinda,
Okay.
Like, yeah, it's been a long time. Oh my god.
So my next question to you guys is like, in that time, have you guys had any trouble with communication? Have any issues with like being on the same page?
I think one of our biggest trouble is like the culture, because he is from Syria. He have already a background in his house, and then he have a background because he grew up here. So he also have this cultural thing about like how United States people like live. And then I'm Latina. I'm super Latina. We are like, I want to be with family all the time.
Yeah.
I want like I don't know, it's super different for me, a lot of stuff, or belief and everything. I am not really Catholic, but I believe like in energies. Actually, we were talking about that these days, and that's why I bring it up. And he was like, I don't believe anything of that, but if you believe it, it's fine for you. And then he's like kind of making jokes about that. I'm like, okay, no, stop. Please, in a moment, you need to stop. But we kind of like look the bright side about that things. We don't get stuck in the troubles that we have.
Okay.
But yeah, and this thing, like, I don't know how common is here, but like everyone, I don't know if all Latinas, but people from Colombia, we usually like test all the time, we communicate too much. We're like, hey, good morning, how are you, sunshine? And all day texting. And then with him, we're like, hi, baby. And then like, oh, I'm going to work. And then maybe when he have a break, oh, I have a break. And good night. And I was like, wait a minute.
Like, I missed you all day.
Yeah, exactly. So it was like, I don't understand. We're not talking. I don't like it. But then after that, like, I'm being like understanding how everything works, and it's just different, and I just need to figure out the ways. The same. I think he deal a lot with me.
It sounds like a culture shock. Like,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think growing up like in Syria and just being raised there is a lot different than, honestly, it's a huge change for me overall. Like, right, having come here, it's going from like, I think I was 15, and a lot of thing that I've learned and the lifestyle and the thing that I was used to is not the same. I had to change within like a year and just got to adjust to high school.
Yeah.
So within those 4 years, I got to learn a lot of different things and adapt and take some part of it, right? And I think it took me time to realize like what I really want, right? Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter where I was raised at, where I was from. At the end of the day, it's like what really mattered to me, what stuff that I want to take in and live as it, right? Yeah. So I'm still working on it as of right now, still like trying to figure out myself and who I am as a person and see what's fit for me. Because like whatever my parent was raised to believe in or practice doesn't particularly mean it's my kind of, you
gotta find yourself.
Yes, I gotta find myself first. And the one thing about me that I dislike is I hate having stuff thrown on me, like kind of forced in a way. Doesn't mean even it's good, even though you mean it a good thing, but when somebody's kind of pushing it on me, I just get kind of resistant to it. And doesn't mean good or bad, right? For me, I feel like I'm very kind of on my own, to be honest with you. Like I make a lot of my decision, and I think she sees that a lot of me. Where like I feel like I'm independent in a way, where to point like I don't need a lot of things to be happy, but I need my thing, and once I'm focused on it, I lose a lot of track of a lot of things around me. Like when I'm at work. I'm sorry, but like I gotta get my job done. And when I have time, I would definitely like send her a text, and I'd rather a phone conversation over any text, to be honest with you, personally. And because like whatever I'm trying to say, whatever I'm trying to communicate, unless it's like, hey, I'll be there in 5 minutes or something, like it's not the same as having like one-on-one conversation or the phone or just in person, right?
Yeah.
It takes too long. It's like for you to
Yes.
receive it, for me to get one back, for you to receive it. Yeah.
Yeah. I did that for a while, like, but I don't like texting that much, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, I'd rather just phone conversation. Like a lot of my friends are like, hey, pick up the phone. Hey, can I talk to you?
That's really rare nowadays, though.
It is.
It's like people communicate through like text messages, and it's like you don't talk on the phone anymore.
Yeah.
I do understand like the convenience of it, or like sometimes
Yeah.
you're busy, but I would appreciate like making that time. Like that's sometimes like that's why I go a few weeks. Sometimes I don't talk to my friends. I'm like, okay, what's up? Catch up. Let's catch up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But definitely a different culture.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, you came to the U.S. a little older too, right? If I
Yeah.
remember correctly.
Yeah, like 15 years old.
Yeah. So you had to, like you said, you had to
Relearn.
adapt to
Adjust.
like
Yeah.
the American life.
Yes.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep. And the challenge was like when I go home, like I still my family's just still serious and traditional, everything religious and all that. Having that adaptation was pretty difficult. And for me, I am very outgoing generally. Like I don't care what kind of person it is, where you from, what you are. I genuinely like to make a human connection. Just just if I'm around people, I want to make sure the people want me around and have a good time.
Yeah. And I think with, I just see like, because I met people that come over from their country a little older. And I see the difference, like, that they have to like, they're in a sense, they're confused on how things work, like culture shock, and with me, like I was not born here. I was born in Mexico, but I was here since like 3 years old. So it was not hard at all for me because I grew up here and, all I know is, United States. So if I was to go back to Mexico, then that would be the culture shock for me, and it's kind of, it's weird in a sense, like in my own home country, my homeland, I would feel culture shocked, like, oh, I don't know this, So in a sense, it's like, I can understand, like, you're coming over, and even you, because you came from Colombia and it's like a lot different.
I think she's going through it right now.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I bet. And that's the thing, because, you lived over there for so many years and you got to love a lot of things, a lot of things that you used to go when you were younger. I mean, I can only imagine, I've never been through it, but I know if I was to like, that's why we kind of didn't move out of the Bay Area, Richmond and San Pablo. Because like, we're thinking of going
It's
like
a nostalgic thing.
yeah, because we were thinking like, oh, probably move over to like Antioch, Vallejo, and they were like, no, even though it's like 20 minutes away, like, nah, I think we want to stay here, where we know everybody and anyone, just
No,
Like,
I respect that.
this is where
yeah.
our life is centered.
yeah.
The one thing I would say though, like about having to kind of distance and go out of place or out of your comfort zone in a way, because I was comfortable in Syria and everything, I was happy. Is you see a different side of the world that you're not really used to.
Yeah.
And I heard something. I don't remember what was the quote. It says everybody puts their pants on the same way in the morning, which is like if you really digest it a little more, it means we're all the same. We have the same struggle. We do go through the same thing, but it may look different based on where you're from, where you're at.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's the same struggle, right?
Yeah.
And by traveling now, like I went to Mexico, Brazil, outside like a few other countries, and at the end of the day, we all go through the same trouble. Doesn't matter where you're. Like when I went to Mexico, like this past few weeks ago, I felt home.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I did like people were genuine, kind, and they all just still gotta get up in the morning, gotta get the job done, gotta feed my kids, gotta take care of this, gotta take care of that. At the same time, they're just able to lay back and have fun. Yeah. Sorry, I went somewhere else with that.
No,
but
it's good. Yeah,
No,
it's
that's
good.
good.
Because I'm thinking about it, like, like we talked about going back to Mexico, like to specifically like where she lives. And then I'm thinking about my area. Because where I was born, like the crime is always like all time high.
What city is it?
It's Tamaulipas. So it's like in the coast near Veracruz, San Luis. And that area is kind of like run by cartel.
I got you.
So it's like, it's bad, so, but I've seen videos on YouTube and like everything that it's around my hometown, like it looks beautiful, but it's like, I kind of don't want to risk it, but I mean, eventually I do want to go back, and visit because I really don't know much besides like little images when I was, younger, like, like quick glimpse, like, oh yeah, I remember that, but I was young. you know.
Yeah.
But I mean, I do want to go back and explore. You know,
I
we
think you
talked
should.
about road trips. You know, like maybe taking a big road trip. You know, one day.
Someday.
Yeah, yeah. So
I mean, for me, the last time that I went to Mexico was when I was like 15 years old, and I didn't want to come back. I wanted to stay there.
yeah,
Like I liked, and I wanted to stay not in the city, but in like the country and like the where there's cows and
El rancho.
you know, el rancho, like all the dirt and everything. Like that's where I wanted to be, you know. Hence all the pets we have, you know.
yeah. Yeah, we say well, maybe later on down the road we'll buy a house in Pittsburgh or Antioch because
With a
there's
farm.
big farms over there,
Yep.
and she wants horses and pigs. And I'm like, oh shit, okay,
Yeah.
I guess I will do it. But yeah, so kind of going back to that, what made you move? Was it a necessity or just something that you thought about moving over?
Moving from
Syria?
so actually my dad and my brothers moved before us, and then me and my mom came after. So my whole family was pretty much here. I think my uncle came here back in like the 90s, 80s, and he just stayed here and loved the life. It's very different, a lot more opportunity, and it's very different, honestly. Like
Yeah.
I can't even explain how different it is, life from here from
Yeah.
where I grew up. So I grew up in Damascus, Syria.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, it's very old traditional. There's a lot of history there. Like it's not just like it's a lot. Like I think if you go back to history, it's like the oldest city known to human existence. There's a lot of port from Aleppo, and I don't know. It's. I still want to go back there, to be honest with you, not to live, just to visit, because I think there was so much there that I had, and I want to experience again. I want like my family in the future to experience, and I don't know. It's just, it's home, but not to live anymore though.
Yeah. Is it because I know Syria to a certain extent. I don't know too much about it. How is it doing as a country right now?
Right now, it's actually pretty bad.
Yeah.
There's a lot of revolution going on.
Yeah, that's what I was.
And it started back like in 2011 between like the rebels and the government.
Yeah.
And if you go back to history, there's a lot of kind of government took control of everything.
Yeah.
And there's pretty much communist sort of style of the way it ran. I'm not sure what the exact like government branch looked like there, but it was pretty much a president, and he got elected every time over the span of like 20 plus years.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you had to vote. If you didn't vote and you could, you got a target on your back in some sort of way. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then what made you move over here from Colombia?
I came here with a program. I came here as an au pair. It's a program that you come here and you live with a family. You call your house family.
Mm-hmm.
And then you work for them as a nanny, and they help you to study, to know a new culture, to improve your language, to improve your skills in the new language. And then so I was here as that, and I was like okay, this is something new. And then the program is for 1 year, but then if you can stay here, you can stay for as long as 2 years. I decided to stay because I am studying, so I want to finish my career here. And I was like, I think this will be as an opportunity for me. Like, if I want to come back, my curriculum vitae will be so much better, and I will have a really good opportunity if I go back. So that's why I still here. Because of him. Like, I don't know what would be go back and have a relationship. Like, it's not when I went to Las Vegas, you know. I was just, if I was visiting him, I was like, I just take a flight, and it was 1 hour and a half, and I came here and visit him, or he can go and visit me. But he thinking like he needs to go to Colombia. I don't know, you know, it's really far. Or me trying to come back, it was going to be super hard. And then COVID started, so it was quarantine, isolation, and everything. So I couldn't come back to Colombia. So that was other of the reasons why I'm still here.
Okay.
So that's my story.
The thing about the program actually is actually, I don't know, but you can do it. Doesn't matter what country it is. So if you're American and you want to go, like, let's say to Greece, you can go there and then live with the family, take care of the kids, help raise the kids. You become like part of the family, and you're like their older brother in a way, right? And
I always wanted to go to Greece. Mario, sorry, I'm leaving.
but yeah, I think honestly it's an awesome opportunity. Like if I known about it, like since high school or before, I would definitely done it, because you just leave your outside comfort zone, learn about a new culture, teach your language. Like she's, I think, part of the first family. She was teaching Spanish to the kids.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was super cool. Like I really like that. Like interact. I really like kids. That's why I'm here. And then interact with them and sing songs to them, and then put like Shakira and they singing with me. It was like that was awesome. For example, I have one of the kids that he just sounds a song that is like really like, and we translate it. It's the songs is like palo palito palo and he's like, what that means, and you translate him, and then all the time he's singing that song. And I was like, I really feel like you feel like something inside of you, like you feel home, you feel like you're doing a great job, and that's,
you're sharing part of your culture.
yes, and then making food. Oh my god, it was like we have this typical food that is arepas, that they're kind of pupusas or gorditas.
Did you bring some one time to
I
work?
think so.
I think you did.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
Yeah, I really
Or you
love
talked
them.
to me about them.
I think
We
Yeah,
spoke about
yes,
them.
yes.
He
I think
promised
she-
me some, so I still haven't gotten them.
Oh, he never told me, so I can make it any day. So yeah, and then I make them, and then the kids were like, "Oh, can you make them?" Or empanadas, and they're like, "Can you make empanadas today?" And it's pretty cool because you're sharing with them. Actually, I really love nopales, and when I can bring nopales to the house, they were like, "Are you eating a cactus? How you can eat that?" And then I said, "Try it," and they were in love. There was like not all of the kids, but one of the kids always, everything that I ate, she ate it with me. She was like, "Oh, I like it. No, I don't like it," or something like that. It's fun.
That's nice. You're giving her part of your culture, like I said.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's nice. So you came through the program. You just came to United States. You didn't go somewhere else, or was it just straight here?
No, actually, depends where you are. You need to apply, and also you need to have like some kind of communication skills. So if I want to apply for Germany or for Europe, I do need to know some of their language. So for me, it was easy to come here because I had a little bit of English in my life. In the schools, they always teach you. So I was kind of fine. That's where I applied to United States. And then came here to California was because you have like fill a profile where you like, tell them about you, and you make a video and everything, and then you go like a
So you have to kind of audition?
what?
In what way? Yeah. So
Yeah.
you gotta
so
make a video.
It's like kind of a dating app, but for families looking for their
Oh,
nanny.
yeah.
Okay.
That's what she
So they just go to the profiles, and they say, "Oh, I like this girl." Oh, they actually boys can apply too, so it's not only girls. And then you are looking, and then they Skype with you and have some
They get to know
interviews, and
you.
I think if you feel like you connected, you just can. I don't know, my first family here, because you can stay with one family or you can rotate to other families, and my first family was like, we didn't match.
It was not a good experience.
It was a nightmare for me. And he was there for me all the time. I'm really glad to have him in that moment of my life, because it was a really bad experience. But since then, I moved to other families, and my next family was awesome. They were the most lovely family. They were like inviting him to eat at home.
Oh, nice.
They were like, Alaaeddin's here. Like
He
Thanksgiving,
became part of the
inviting
family
him.
too.
In a way, yeah.
That's
Yeah. So I was like older daughter for them, and he was like part of the family too.
Daughter's boyfriend.
The daughter's
Yeah.
it's the same thing.
And actually the parents was like, he told us he do something.
Oh, nice. You got
Yeah.
you on check, man.
Actually, like I really like that family. They were very kind and they really took good care of her, and they were like supportive to a lot of things. Actually, I think like today she had like a mail that she showed me, and it was one from the girls there that she mailed to like a little notes of like thank you for
One of the kids.
yeah.
Yes.
And that was so sweet.
We're still in contact. So
Yeah.
the two youngest ones, their birthday was like 2-3 weeks ago, and I sent like a gift. So they were like sending me cards to thank me.
Aw.
Do they love
Long
me?
term,
They
yeah.
miss me. They always send me texts to my phone, send me videos about everything that is new for them. I really miss them, you know. But
That's sweet. You gain another family.
Yeah.
yes,
that's
exactly.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and I think with kids, children in general, they absorb a lot, and then they feel like whenever someone gives them love, they like kind of return it, and that's
Yeah.
where I feel like that's a nice sweet moment for for anybody, get that love back, and it's unconditional. It's like it's just there's no strings attached. It's like they just want to show you the love.
It's very genuine. Yeah.
Yeah, genuine. There you go. That's the right word. So going back to you guys in your relationships, like, do you guys fight?
Who doesn't?
Yeah. So who's I always ask this too. Who's always right and who's always wrong?
She is.
Who's,
I mean, she's always right. I'm always wrong.
Good answer.
you're learning it well. Do you guys let fights get in the way, or how do you guys handle fights?
Honestly, when if we do fight, so I'm different, to be honest with you. Like I like to hold a lot of stuff in and kind of reabsorb it because I'm a thinker. And before I speak on a subject or an issue that happened, I like to really think all the options, what's going on, what did I do wrong, what could I have done, which is I kind of like found out sooner than later that doesn't really work. I just got to communicate. I got to let it out there and speak about it. And slowly, honestly, I learned a lot from her. She's a lot the opposite. She just let it out. Okay, this is what's going on. What the hell? Talk to me.
Yeah.
Sorry. Am I able to understand?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank
Yeah,
you.
cuss. Don't worry about it.
Let
Yeah.
loose.
Yeah, that is. Yeah.
But yeah, she just talks about it, and just by seeing how she kind of let out on the table, kind of grown a little bit to kind of realize like, okay, there's some part of me that I really need to not particularly fix, but really be cautious of, like just really speak my emotion, because it's the only person that's hurting is me, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just say I am all the opposite side. I'm like, if I get them, I really get emotional. So every time that I don't like something, it's like, why? And I came to him and I started doing like, I don't you understand? I need help. For me, the fights at the beginning when my English was not really, I was like really good. I was like in Spanish halfway. Then I say like, I need to think these words. Wait a second. And then I'm saying in English, and then I mix the words and everything. I was like, I needed to breathe.
It went from Spanglish to English.
I bet.
Yeah, and then, but yeah, I am more emotional. And for example, I really like to do things out. He's more like at home. And I'm like, we need to go for a walk right now. We need to go. And he's like, no, you go. I actually get a kind of backpack for the cat.
Oh yeah. Oh my god.
So
I don't
we
know
can
what's
You don't
walk
want to
the
come
cat.
with me? I'll take the cat.
Actually, I do
That's what she did.
Stay home then.
Yeah.
Actually, sometimes I do that because I do need it. Like I need to bring my mind outside.
I need some
Yeah.
fresh air.
Yeah. And he's more like, no, do this, or come on, let's do it. He's really good on changing my mind. So he's like, okay, we can go for a hike. And I was like, yes, come on. And then the hike is like 10 minutes.
That's
and
a
then
hike.
we go fishing. And then,
The hike is the walk to the car.
yeah. So yeah, as I'm really emotional, and when he had a really hard time try to expressing himself with me, and I'm like, I'm really opening. I'm sometimes you don't need to ask me how I am. I am just came to the car and say, this happened to me. I need to spend to you. And actually, I learned that word from him, because all the time I came to say how I feel, and he was like, you always talk to me like, we need to talk. And that here in the United States is like something serious.
No.
Like, what do I do?
So when you want to talk to me, like express yourself, tell me, I need to vent you stuff. You know? And I was like, every time I come, like, I need to vent to you.
Instead of we need to talk.
Yeah. Because like I think at the start when she would just say we need to talk, and then I'll be like, because I'm on the edge, I'm like, okay, what did I do? I'm going back like, okay, where did I mess
Start
up?
sweating here.
Yeah. And then like whatever she's trying to say, I feel like I had to like there's something that I need to fix or figure out. Where in the general, if you tell me I need to vent, I'm able to like sit back and relax and just listen, give her that time.
Yeah.
It took a while, but we got through it.
It's like you would be on the defense already, like, oh my God, I gotta defend something.
Yeah.
No, that makes sense.
He is like that.
Yeah. So have you guys let any of the fights get out of control, or do you guys kind of like, been able to, just kind of?
I think generally we're pretty good at it. I think we got a few fights here and there, but if it does get pretty far, we just kind of take a break and we step back and figure out, like, I don't know, where we could have gone better, and we just talk about it after.
Yeah, we just breathe. Like, okay, space right now, and then we come back to the conversation. It's not like we left the conversation. Yeah. We just came back with like new mindset and say, okay, let's do it again. What was wrong and what we can change. Yes.
Yeah. Because generally, I think when I'm upset, generally everybody's upset. I think we tend to say the wrong thing, but maybe mean it in a different way. And especially when I'm not really in a good mindset, I say stuff that I don't really mean. Yeah. But because I'm in a heated moment, I'll just say something stupid, which realistically, looking back, damn, why did I say that? Yeah. And it took a while for me to realize, like, okay, when I'm getting to that point, I need to take a step back. Hey, just pause it, put it on hold, and then let's do something else, figure out later, right?
I am keep working on that.
And it's with the reason I asked with the fights is because like we fight as well, like we've been together for a long time now. How long have we been together?
20 years. Oh, that's a trick question.
No, we've been together since 2007. So
it's 13. Oh, 13.
Yeah, 13 years.
Yeah.
So we've been married for less than that, of course. But along the way, same thing with you guys. Like I've learned, me as a kid, when my mom used to get mad, my dad used to get mad, I go to my room. Like I don't want to talk about it. I just go to the room. I don't want to talk about it. And she's not like, no, I want to talk about it now. And it's like, I was like, okay, well, I want to talk right now, and like I don't want to talk about it right now. So I would try to walk away, and that would get her pissed. So it's like, she would get mad.
Like when you're ready to talk, I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Yep. So now that I want to talk, she don't want to talk. Like, no, I'm not ready no more. Like, and it would just kind of create like a lot of fights. So I learned, because I had to learn one way or another, that even if I don't want to talk about it, I kind of have to, because I want to meet her in the middle.
I got you.
But in a sense, like, it avoids a bigger issue, which is like she gets to a state where like she's so mad she doesn't want to talk about it no more. And I'm over there, no, but let's talk now. I'm ready. Like, no, I don't want to. So it's just kind of back and forth, And, I think that was probably one of our biggest things, like communication, specifically during fights. That's where we struggled a little bit more.
So what did you learn?
That they're always right, No, I learned that, you have to meet in the middle. Like you always need to like, okay,
compromise.
Because I think she also learned that maybe I don't need to talk about it right away. She'll give me a little time to kind of cool off, and instead I'll be like, no, now. So she kind of learned in a way to.
I think one of the things that I learned is that there are different emotions other than being upset.
Oh, yeah.
Because I would tell him a lot, like, everything, like, anything I noticed with him, like, you're upset. Why are you upset? And he would get mad. he would get mad. Like, I'm not upset. Like, there's a different emotion that's bothering me right now. Like, I don't know. I'm tired or
because the way that kind of like culturally wise, like, my family, when they say upset, that means like I'm mad. But to her, upset means like, maybe you're concerned about something. Maybe something's bothering you.
It's more of a general term for me.
Oh, I got you.
And I told her like, well, whenever you say upset, I always think you're saying I'm mad, and I'm not mad. And that would get me mad.
I'm about to say, because that
yeah. So it's like, little things like that. Because the way she talks, like, even though we're both from, Mexico, like the background, like her parents are from like Guadalajara. Mine's from like, a different state. So even though it's from Mexico, like we have our different ways of saying things. So like, things like that she would say like, oh, I don't know, like that. So sometimes I would say things that would get her upset. Like, well, I don't mean it like that. It's just, that's the way I say it,
I got you.
That's kind of my slang in a sense. So, we learn like little things here and there. Like, okay, if this word means this, and it doesn't necessarily mean that I'm mad, or it doesn't necessarily mean that I'm like trying to like insult you. It's a different way of saying it. So we learn like, things like that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And I think there's that communication. I think part of it, like, you have to go through these tough times, like through like uncomfortable conversation to get the better side of it.
Yeah.
And I guess that's what experience and just kind of time, and you gotta go through it.
Yeah, because our biggest fights, I've learned like, okay, after getting out the fight, we talked about it and we're fine. At least me, I don't know about her, but I thought about, okay, well, how could I have done that better? I have to like kind of think about it, like, what did I do wrong? Like, what made it escalate to that point? And
not me, I did everything right.
I know she always does everything right, but it did force me to, and I don't learn like the next time, like, oh, next time I'm pro. No, it took me a lot of like, messing up, a lot of things, like, I did certain things that I shouldn't have done. Like, I told her like, the thing is like, I've admitted to her before, like, when she would try to tell me I'm upset or I'm mad, I'd be like, okay, tell me, but as soon as you're done, I'm going to tell you why you're wrong. So I was never really listening to her, So it was hard kind of getting out of that. It was hard for me to be like, okay, that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm listening. It's just saying that I'm listening just so I can tell you.
You're ready to kind of,
yeah.
I got you.
So, and she would always tell me like, but you're not listening to me. You don't understand. Like, I do, but I don't think you're right. So it's like,
I got you.
So, I had to learn, like, in a sense, like, I had to learn that, okay, maybe trying to prove her wrong or try to prove my point right is not the best time. We can talk about it and kind of like come into agreement, and then
a more civilized way.
Because when you're calmer, things are a little more, it flows out better. When you're calmer, like we found out that recently, like with our fights, they don't escalate. We don't fight that much, but we've learned that, at least I have, that after the aftermath, after the tornado, we talk about it, and she's like, oh, okay, well, I could do it differently now next time. And I do the same thing, like, oh, okay, well, if that's what the problem was, then I'll approach it differently, So
that's really good.
Yeah.
In a way, like self-reflection, right?
Yeah.
And aftermath, that's really good.
Yeah. So, and that's only with it, like a lot of fights. That's our experience. We went through fights, and we've learned. That's the thing. She knows that I will never tell her anything to insult her or to put her down. And I feel the same way. It's like we never insulted each other. So I think it's been easier on us to be like, okay, like let's work on the problem, not, what was said. But yeah, I think that's one of our pluses with us. We haven't struggled with it. But it's happened. We fight. Yeah.
I think now we just more, it's not like fighting, like yelling at each other or whatever. It's more of like, disagreements. We're going to have disagreements. Yep. We disagree. We can agree to disagree, or we can try to like see each other's, point of view and like, okay, in that sense, you're right, like. Yeah.
And like now it's like no more fights. It's more like annoyance, So sometimes she'll get annoyed and I'll get annoyed, like just when was it? I forgot what day it was just recently. I got annoyed. I'm like, ya vas a empezar. So I just like, it's kind of like, oh, you're going to start? Now I guess I got to just do what you want me to tell. Oh, I didn't pick up my shoes. All right, I'll go pick up my shoes. Mm-hmm. It's like, I get annoyed and she gets annoyed sometimes, but we don't let that like escalate to a fight, which in a way it's a little better than.
We kind of laugh about it now.
Yeah, we
it's
laugh
like,
about it.
If he shows like kind of like an annoyed emotion about what I'm saying, I just be like, and we just laugh about it.
That's really good, yeah. It shows like the growth too.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. And this is one of the things that's worked for me recently, and I'm gonna spill the secret because she didn't know. So when she starts getting mad or annoyed, I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll do it. And I'm back in my like, oh, whatever. So I'm trying to do everything she wants me to do. A little later on, it's like, I'm sorry, I was mad, I was just frustrated. Like, it's okay, I forgive you, don't worry about it. And it works all the time. No, I'm just playing. No, but it's kind of like that, sometimes,
I am really good at apologizing though.
Yeah,
when I'm wrong, I know how to admit it, and I'm the first to be like, Mario, I'm so sorry. Like, I was just upset. I'm over it.
Yeah, but I've learned like I kind of sometimes kind of need to go along with the flow, and then she'll eventually,
in the moment.
Yeah,
I got you.
Yeah.
Good, that's it.
Yeah,
I got you.
Yeah. So
he wasn't so good at apologizing.
No, I'm still not. I mean, same thing. I think with me, there was a sense of pride, like, I'm right, or I don't think I'm wrong. So, at the end of the day, no one's really right. Yeah. That's what I feel. So the worst thing I can do, like, not say I'm sorry. To a certain extent, I did something, so I kind of have to say I'm sorry because I did mess up in a sense. So I've gotten better, I still struggle with it sometimes.
I don't think I get apologized very much.
No.
He's not a good sorry person.
No, I still struggle with it, but I try, and then, when I do try, she never sees it. So, like, should I even try? No, but, that's the thing. Like, even though we're doing real good, there's always, like, room for improvement for sure. And I know I have to work on it. She knows she has to work on some things, but as long as we talk about it,
Yeah, I think that's the biggest part of communication for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Something that, I don't know, like I've heard it somewhere and always got to me, like I think if couples don't really fight or kind of have interactions, I feel like it's always somebody's not saying something or somebody's not being there in the moment and they're not fighting for it. So if there's no kind of, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but.
No, I actually know someone, like, I'm not going to mention any names, but I know someone who, I've spoken to this person like about they're not together anymore, but I had spoken to this person about like they shared some information with me. And one of the problems was, the person like she was with was like a good person. She said he's a great person. We just never fight. We don't really communicate with each other. And that was like, I mean, I don't know. They're not together, but I don't know what happened or, whatever the story to it. But that's one of the things. It's like they never fought. And that was a problem to her. So I agree.
Yeah, because I feel like if you're not being yourself, because like you guys say, they're like everybody different personality, right? So then whatever looks the same to you, you may look, in your point of view, you didn't mess up, but in her point, like you messed up. And for different people to kind of like let it out there and communicate, if you're not fighting, I don't know, there's something like
so
not being communicated.
Talk about stuff.
Yes.
And I see it like I see it in a lot of different ways. There's like a lot of layers to it, but I mean the way things like if you're not fighting, like do you care about like do you even care about that person? One, that I mean I don't really care about it, so why should I even care? Why should I even make a deal about it or tell her how I feel? And that can like being silent doesn't necessarily mean you're happy or things are working out. You kind of have to fight. You have to like bump heads sometimes and be like, hey, this is what went wrong and this is how you can make me happy next time. So
you have to put on those punching gloves. And
just go to that uncomfortable zone, I call it.
Yeah.
So actually, one of our big fights was about that. Alaaeddin was not open to talk to me, and I was like, it was like 3 weeks that I always was asking him, like, "Are you okay? Are you upset? What is going on?" What I am a person that I really like feedbacks, like in my work, in my personal life, with my family, everyone like. Can you give me a feedback? What I'm doing wrong? Like in everything. Yeah. And I was like, what is going on? Like, you're not talking to me. You were not like this. Like, what is going on? Like, and he knows. Like, I told him all the time, like, if one day you wake up and you decide, hey, I don't love her anymore, it's fine. Like, we will, but yeah, it will be hard. I will cry, for a few weeks, months, or wherever. But then we pass for that. Like, I prefer 100 times that he told me the truth. Hey, because it's normal, you know. One day you just can say, I don't feel this for this person. And he was like not opening to me. And I was like, hey, you are here. I'm with you. We are a couple. What is the communication? What, you need to tell me, why are you mad? You need to talk to me, and you need to come to me and say, hey, I don't like that you say that. He didn't even say that stuff. Sometimes I just say something and he was like mad for that, but he didn't talk to me. And I was like, how I'm going to know that he doesn't like that I say that? I don't know. I don't like fish, you know? And I was like, you need to talk to me. I think he just put everything inside and he was so mad. And then when he tried to bring everything out, it was like explosion, you know? It was like, I don't like this happened. Sometimes you're so emotional and everything. I was like, okay. Do you want to keep fighting or I was like, okay, so you want to keep fighting or you want this ended, you know? And he was like, okay, I want to keep fighting, but it's just but he tries. And now I think we never had a conversation like that.
No, I think it's a lot better. I think to go a little backstory, I don't want to go detail on what happened that time, but it's something for me to really kind of reflect on and understand. One of the biggest opportunities I think maybe a lot of people go through it is when you care about so much about somebody, sometimes you tend to like put their emotion and their feeling before yours. And I think that's what the biggest thing that happened during that time for me is she was going through a lot of things outside of our relationship on the side, and I felt like I don't want to bring anything up that I was feeling that would add into it, right? Yeah. Which definitely don't like the wrong thinking.
You didn't want to hurt her feelings.
Yeah, I don't want to add more into her plate in a way, which is like I always do that sometimes. It's not just with my relationship, but everything around. And it's something that I need to really grow and understand and realize when I'm doing it and just kind of stop it, right?
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, it's like I can't really be myself for her if I'm not taking care of myself first.
Yeah.
So in a way, I was kind of making everything worse, trying to help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that is important because you know, not with me. I've done certain things like that. You know, try to like in a sense kind of put not a band-aid, but kind of like, you know, pretend like nothing's happening. Like, oh, everything's fine. You make things worse because you know you need to say it. You need to just spill it out. Yeah. So it's important.
It's hard, man.
I know.
It's hard.
Yeah.
No. Relationships are hard.
Yeah. It's a job. At the end of the day, it's a job. You know, kind of what you're saying earlier. When we started dating, she was like a little more jealous. You know, I feel like I say that all the time.
Yeah.
Like, you know, but she was very jealous. You know, and
it went from a little to very.
Yeah, like holy crap, estás loca. but you know, one of the things that with her jealousy, I understood it. You know, and it was frustrating because it was like the thing is that the way I was raised, you know, both my mom and my dad, like, you know, they have always told me like, you know, you need to respect a woman. A woman is, you know, somebody that you cannot disrespect. Don't ever put. My mom and my dad used to always tell me, don't ever hit a woman, you know. And then in a sense, like, you know, my dad and my mom went through a split, so I kind of got to see the, you know, the part where my mom was like, you know, how do you say, you know, she, in a sense, she was, you know, disrespected by my dad. Not to go into details, but basically my dad started his own life, you know, once he moved to Hawaii. And I kind of got to see that, like, you know, how my mom was suffering. And I told myself, like, I don't want to ever put anybody in that situation when I met her. And I told her, like, one day we were fighting, and I told her, like, you know, the jealousy part was, like, up the roof. And I told her, like, you know what, if I was to ever, like, you know, think that this is not working, what I would do, and I told her, like, you know, and I told her, and I looked at her in her face, like, what I would do is, like, I would just tell you, like, you know what, it's not working out. We got to split. I don't want to be your boyfriend. You know, I don't want you to be my girlfriend. And I prefer doing that than to cheat on her and make it worse. Yeah. Because I told her, like, you know, yeah, I mean, if I break up with you, you're probably going to hurt if she actually liked me, you know. But I think it would be a lot worse if, you know, I cheat on her, because not only am I telling her that I don't like her, I disrespected her, and then of course I betrayed her. So that's a lot more pain, And I told her that, and I was like, hopefully that works. It didn't work because she's still jealous. But that's kind of like I wanted her like that's my stamp. That's the person I am. I'm not gonna do that to you because I've learned that I saw my mom how she was, and it hurt. Like seeing her like that. So I told her I'm never gonna do that. Not just to her but anybody. Like because around the time we were just talking, so we weren't like officially dating. But when we started officially dating, I told her that.
And he still decided to date me.
Yeah,
even though I was loca, like you said.
Yeah, I know. I don't know what's going on with me, but I told her like I'm never gonna do that. Just so she can at least be calm about that, like knowing that I will not be that type of person. But it's hard, I think for her to take that in, she still had her insecurities, and I also didn't play my part as well sometimes, but
yes, I want to say that Alaaeddin all the time is like, I'm never gonna cheat on you. I will, like, and you say, yeah, you can say it. Everyone say it, but that to be true. Yeah, and that's why you feel like I'm not the type of jealous that I'm gonna say like, oh, you cannot see that girl, but I will feel it inside of me. Like I will feel like sad, or I will feel like I compare myself with a lot of people, and it's something that I'm working with, but it's like a hard problem. Yesterday we were in a karaoke. I was a woman that came to our table. We were like with friends. And then this woman, she's beautiful, and then I was like, oh, she's so beautiful. And she was with someone, and I was like, oh, his couple, her couple or something, And then she came to our table, and she started like flirting with the guy that were with us. And I was like, okay, what is she doing? And I don't feel like, oh, I'm going to go to him or something. I feel more like insecure about it, because the person that love you, that person love you, but you don't know what other person can bring to that person. That person can do other things to make him feel different, and can make him feel like, okay, what I prefer, and that's why I'm more insecure.
That makes sense. Because I'm not the jealous type, and I've said this so many times already. I think I'm not the jealous type, but I've told her like, you're not an ugly person. She's a very attractive person. She has like the personality that a lot of people, like a lot of guys like, and she's gotten hit on. She's had guys messaging her and not texting her but messaging her. So my inner power, I'm like, I get, but the thing is, what she's done is she's always been like very open, like, hey, like this is what they're saying, like, I'm like, and I'm like, okay, that's fine, delete them. I don't want to see them ever there, but delete them. But that's the same thing, kind of what you're saying is like, I trust her. I trust her 100%, but I don't trust what another guy has in their head, what they're going to try to do to convince her to otherwise, and to a certain extent, like I did get jealous to a certain point, which is why I would get mad, but not with her, with the situation. And it's like, I understand that, like I trust her, but I don't trust other people.
Yeah, actually something that I'm dealing with. It's here, you cannot be nice with people that you don't know. Like, oh my God, I feel so frustrated. Like, I'm going to the market and I'm going to buy something. And the people that stock stuff, and they help me. And I go like twice a week or more often. So I know already people. I'm like, hi, Alberto. Hi. And I don't know. And they came to me and like, oh, how about going for a dinner? Oh, can you give me your phone? And I told him, for me, this is a person that I usually need to see, and I don't want to be rude. I don't want to say, hey, I have a boyfriend, I don't want to go. Can you stop? I cannot say that. I need to say, oh, thank you. But they are going to keep going. And you just
sometimes you have to be rude.
That's what I'm trying to tell
I know,
her,
but he told me that. And sometimes for me, like, it's so hard for me. I was working in a place, and one day, one of the persons told me like, oh, can you give me your number? And I told him, I have boyfriend. That was when I was in Las Vegas. And I told him, I have a boyfriend. I'm new here. If you are planning something as a friends, nice. Like, I can give you my phone number and everything. And actually, that happened. And actually, I didn't give my phone number. What I did was like, okay, I give you my Facebook. I don't usually go on Facebook and say like, okay, send me your requests and everything. And Ala have my Facebook, and he was like, this person came to say like, hola hermosa, hi beautiful, things like that. And he gets so angry, like, who is this person? What is talking to you? And I was like, I didn't saw the message, and he already saw the message. And I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. And then I needed to talk him like, you know what? Like, I know maybe for our culture, you say hi beautiful, something like that is more like normal. But I don't feel like you and me have that kind of confidence that you can talk to me like that.
Yeah.
I don't even use that words back to Colombia. Like, I don't like it when they call like, oh, mi reina, things like that. And I'm like, I'm not sure if I am your queen.
Like, tone it down.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that definitely she's very nice with people around. That's one thing that I really love about her. It's just very kind. Doesn't matter who it is around her, right? But I think sometimes you just gotta set boundaries. Like, hey, you know.
Well, I'm the exact same way, and we've gotten into not in arguments, but you know, we've gotten into situations where she gets mad or upset. Recently with work, you know, I'm just like, I'm the type of person that like I like being friendly, you know, and sometimes we're in like, you know, I've told her this in the past. Like, I feel like in my past life, I lived a lot of lives. Because when someone tells me something like, hey, I'm going through this, I feel it, you know, like, and I can sympathize, and I can, for some weird reason, I was like, I know what you're going through. I haven't been through it, but I know what you're going through. And, you know, I'm also very friendly. So, you know, you have like, you know, like the ladies, you know, like I'm very nice to them. Like, I'm very respectful. And some of the ladies, like, you know, started getting like, you know, Marito.
A little bit too
too friendly, you know, and we've had so, you know, they know we were married, and sometimes they'll like, I feel like they would tease her, like, you know, just mess with it. And it's like, oh, okay, well, I kind of,
But one of them was taking it out of way out of proportion, out of control, talking about her love, like, where's my love today? Yeah, I was like, okay. And it got to the point where I told her, I was like, you need to be careful, because she's kind of like saying it everyone kind of knows that to her, that's su amor. Yeah. Right? Yeah. And, you know, maybe have a conversation with her, because I don't want you to get in trouble because she's saying. Yeah.
And that's the thing, like, it never got to that point. They were like, oh, they always call me on Marito and stuff like that. Like little words, like, you know, kind of saying like, you know, an affection type thing. But she never got to that point where say mi amor. So as soon as she told me that, like, okay, let me talk to her, because I am at work. If people hear that, then that's kind of in a sense sexual harassment. And you know, and I don't want to get that far. That's what I told her, like, hey, you gotta chill with that, because people. I am your leader at the end of the day. You know, people can hear that. They're gonna think like, hey, what's going on? So I mean, situations like that happen, but that's just my personality. I like, you know, I like being pleasant. You know, I like, you know,
and I understood in a way, because like it was kind of a comfort thing. They're very comfortable with him. Even to this point, like, I don't directly work with them anymore, but I feel like some of them, they still come to me, and like they're very comfortable with like opening up to me. So I get it. It's like, it's the, like, we can relate to each other. You know, I'm Hispanic, they're Hispanic, you know, we can talk to each other, but yeah, it was getting a little out of control. Yeah.
And that's always been like that, you know. And
I mean, even like when you at his last job at Target, he had a really close coworker, and I remember like they would be texting each other, and like I would see like 1 minute, 2 minute call. I don't know why they were calling each other, and I was just like, why? Yeah. I'm like, look at mine. Yeah. Like I no one calls me.
Yeah, and you know, with those conversations is like, you know. At the end of the day, I have her password. She has my password. There's always never nothing to hide. And with situations like that, is like, you know, I tell her like, you know, like, yeah, I mean, for example, the 2 minute calls is like, we worked together. We worked like, around the time this specific person, like I worked in the warehouse, like kind of the goods flow. I was the leader working that, and she was doing like the click and collect now, what you guys have. But Target is different, so it's their own department. So we would call like, hey, I'm looking for this item. Did it come in this, today's truck? Like, I didn't come in. So we would have those conversations. And with me, like, like I told her, like, in my mind, she's just a friend. She's a very close, coworker because we've worked a lot, So yeah, we would go through like talking, but it was never like in my head. It was like, it's more than that. It was just like, it's just acquaintance. We have something in common that we worked at Target. But I was never like really afraid to like, like deleting messages. Like, no, they're right there. And I listen, go through them. But, knowing I put myself in their shoes and like, yeah, it kind of could look bad because it could be interpreted kind of like you're saying, text messages. You never really interpret what they mean, and I understand that part. Like, okay, well, you're telling me that you don't like it. Okay, let me stop. Let me reduce it.
You didn't though. You didn't stop.
Yeah.
We had some issues over that because I'm like, I don't feel comfortable with it, and I asked nicely, like, kind of refrain from, communicating that way and stuff. And it didn't stop, and then it escalated at one point.
But that's the trial and error. And it was more like, it wasn't that I didn't stop because I didn't want to. It was just a habit already. It was like something that I was doing consistently. And during the time, I wasn't thinking like, oh, she wants me to stop. So it did get to a point where like she was already upset. So it's like, I already told you, like, I know you did, and I know I messed up. So it was more like, it was kind of breaking out of that habit. And it was like, I understand. Like, I know where you're coming from. I know I fucked up, so I get it, and it took a while, it's just that work, I have it, but I always told her like, like it was nothing there. Like, look at the phone, you can do whatever you want. It was just
like that.
Yeah. Cause like I said, it's just more of my mentality is like, I never saw it like that. It was just like, it was a friend, but
I got you. But I think one thing about that, like, as I just stepped into like leadership role, I think it's a huge part of you as a leader to be able to connect with coworkers and have that sort of like open communication and be there for them and really show that support. Like, if a coworker is that comfortable with you, it shows a kind of leadership that doesn't really like, it's much needed in this time.
Yeah.
Because in the past, leadership was supposed to be like, oh, that big boss that nobody can touch, or what I'm saying, like, oh, he's a hole, like, oh, don't talk to him, he's angry, or something like that. But when you go into that, where having that sort of connection with coworkers and like let them know that you're actually able to listen and have that sort of like open gate way to communicate, that's a huge plus.
Yeah.
Not when they call you my love, though.
Okay, that's
different. No, but it's true. It's true because I've worked as a manager in different companies, and from what my experience is, like, people give you their 110% sure, their 110% each and every time if you're someone that they can connect to. Someone that they can trust, because at the end of the day, you connect and you trust, you give them 110%. Now, if it's somebody else, that's more like kind of like you said, like old school, like, I'm the boss, don't tell me what to do. Then, at the end of the day, people that are dedicated are going to give you like their 90%, 95%, but then they're still kind of reserved, like, well, I don't know about this guy. And that's what I've learned. I've learned that throughout the years, because I was also the asshole, I was also like, that type of person because of what I saw, what people were. The people training me, that's the old school mentality.
You were learning from them.
And I've learned, like, always get 110% more when I'm a lot more, like, communicative, when I'm more related to, whoever's is. And that's just something you learn with experience, for sure.
But I think that's part of being a leader, right? Because, like, you literally observe everybody around your leadership, and then you kind of, like...
pick and choose what you want.
You sculpture yourself into, like, whatever you decide or whatever you think is best and work for you.
Yeah. And that's kind of, like, if you think about it, that's kind of how a relationship is, you have to figure out what has worked and what hasn't, and you become a better boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife through like picking things here and there, because I definitely learned like that. I've learned for sure.
Learn by experience.
Yeah.
It's huge. Yeah.
So my next question to you guys is like, have you guys thought about the future? Like, what do you guys have planned ahead?
Kind of, yeah. Here and there.
Yeah. Like little steps.
Little steps, yeah.
Okay.
I think right now we're both like in a moment of our life where we're still working on ourselves, to be honest. And we got each of our career trying to kind of focus more on that. But the future is there. We're thinking about it, but we're working through it.
Yeah.
We have a big issue is that I am not into kids. Like I don't want to have kids. I get like, oh, I want it.
Oh, okay.
I want like 3. I'm like, I
13 maybe.
That old school, mentality.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
well-
like, I'm into animals. We can have a farm if you want.
Well, puppies are usually like kids,
Yeah.
So yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you already have a cat, though.
I do.
But cats are different.
Actually,
I
See, that I used to
Mario
say
doesn't
that.
like
I don't
cats.
like cats.
I used to say that, man. I used to like, oh, cats, hell no. They scratch their hella a-hole sometimes. Until I got one, and then he's pretty sweet.
Fell in love.
Yeah.
Well, I almost did fall in love with that one cat in Petco. They were like, there was a like adoption.
We literally have one that comes to our door and
Oh, yeah.
just stands at the door looking in. Like just stands there. I have a picture on my phone. I'll show you guys after. But just,
Well,
he doesn't let me feed
no,
it.
like,
because
if you
it's
feed him,
never
it's
gonna
gonna
go
come back.
away.
He's not going to go.
yeah. But the thing is,
But it's okay. I let the kids feed it.
No.
we used to like the bunnies, the rabbits that we have, or the bunnies that we have. My mom and the kids, you just let them out, and they would just roam around, like around the block, and they would hang out. The cat and the bunny would hang out.
What? I've not
that's
seen that.
yeah, that's
That's
when we started
crazy.
noticing the cat was coming a lot more.
The cat's
Looking for the
here
bunnies.
looking for his friends.
Yeah, because I remember this one time. I thought it was weird, but the bunnies would hang out underneath the cars because of the shade.
Yep.
And I pulled up and I just see the cat run, and then the bunny just kind of like wanders off. Like, what the hell? Like, was it they going at it? Like, no, they were just chilling.
That's
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. So you see the cat from
Yeah.
time to time just meows and then just stands in the middle. Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
awesome. Like having a cat, it's like they really love you. You can feel their appreciation for
They're
from-
extremely smart,
like-
too. Oh, my God.
wow. Like I don't know. I used to rescue animals in my country, and I remember one cat that doesn't live with me. My parents doesn't like cats at all. And I remember that this gray cat that always came to my house because I put food. And then it was, she came later with like animals that she hunt and put it in my door. I said like, thank you, you
Yeah.
know?
Like,
It was
yeah.
like,
They do
Kinda
that.
like, yeah.
it was like, okay.
It's like, here you go. You fed me. Let me feed you.
Yeah, I've seen videos like that. Like, holy crap, that's
I mean,
that's smart.
that's very,
Yeah.
that's generous of them.
Yeah, like showing like thank you.
Yeah.
Here's my way saying
Yes.
thank you. Yeah.
I think the difference between cats and dogs, like dogs like super general, right? Like you feed them, they're like they give you all their love and everything. They don't really ask for a lot. But cats, they actually kind of like really
They're
smart.
high maintenance.
Yeah, not honestly, they're way less maintenance than dogs, to be honest. But they're smart. Like they can actually read your emotion. So, for example, like if I come from work and I'm pissed and I'm in a bad mood, and I just chill on my bed, and he knows right away. Like he jumps in, gets in my lap, and just asks for
Takes all
pet.
your stress away.
Yes, like I don't know, he just reads that,
It's empowering. Like,
and then
Yeah.
and
yeah,
then
like
they give you like a massage. It's like incredible. You're like, how he knows that?
They feel your
they
energy.
read your energy. Oh, if I'm like coming to work and have a lot of energy, he can read that, and he already start messing with me, like to play around, like bite my feet, go jump around, start being an asshole out of nowhere. I'm like, okay, you want to play?
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
Yeah. That
Nice.
that reminds me when
I want a cat.
I don't want a cat still. No, we also got Kai because Kai is a little more aggressive.
Yeah.
But it kind of reminds me when I used to work at Target. I used to spend like 14, 16 hours, working at Target, and I'll come home and I was just tired, like I don't want to do anything. And before all my fish died, they were big fish, and I would just come home, and if she's cooking dinner or we're just chilling, I'm laying down at the table and I'm just looking at the fish tank and I get lost. And I just seen the fish like swim, and it's just like it's therapeutic. Going, I used to get lost. I'm like just looking at it. I'm like, oh shit, like what am I doing?
That's
And pets do that in a sense. They kind of relax you.
They do.
And that's why you have so many.
A little story about me. I don't know if I told you this, but I grew up on a farm back
Did
in
you?
Syria. Like my
Probably.
house was a freaking wild, legit. Like we moved because we used to all live in like the main city, and my dad same way. Like he loves animals, he didn't care. where once he retired, like he kind of sold that. I think it was like the whole house got sold and turned into like a big building. So we took his portion and just went like super far away into like the suburb, and we built like house. We're like the second house I ever built in the whole area.
You mentioned that.
Yeah, everywhere you look around you is like literally trees, nature. Like legit, there was a river about like a 5-minute walk from my house, and like a room fresh water. Like legit, you can drink from it. There's wells in there. It was just, I think that the thing that stands out the most to me is like when we first moved in, it was wild life, to the point where like we bought a lot of construction materials, and just to make sure that nobody steals it, right? I think me and my brothers were just sleeping on the second stairs, and we're just just looking out, and then we randomly hear some random shit, and we look down, it's a freaking hyena. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, and then the reason I didn't know if I don't know if it's true or not, but like we're all apparently the hyena has something where like your whole hair will stand out if they're in close contact. But I don't know how real that is. But we're all like we felt something, and we looked down like, okay, we're not going down there. They do their own thing. Yeah.
Do they do something?
Hyenas are
Aggressive?
Yeah.
They're very aggressive. Yeah, and they're smart, incredibly smart, and they like attack as a pack, and like that can legit do
Rip
some
your
damage.
Skin off, yeah. They're horrible.
Yeah, and there was like lions and not really lions. What do you call them? I think we have them here at some point. Wildcats, yeah,
Wildcats.
And like bears and stuff. But I think once like the army moved down, that area just started killing a lot of these wildlife, which sucks. But yeah.
Oh wow.
Did you hear them like
Oh yeah.
like
It's
yeah,
like
right?
it's
Yeah, they kind of
it's weird. I don't know. Yeah.
I don't call it a laugh. It's more like it's weird because I've heard videos, and I, specifically hyenas. I've seen videos, and just it kind of like cringes up, like
Yep.
It sounds creepy.
It is.
It's cool but creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love animals. So like my dad loved animals. Like before I came here, like I had to sell a lot of my stuff, which I'm still bad about.
Yeah.
I had like 16 ducks and goose. I had like 10, 15 rabbits, a lot of chickens. I think I had a lamb, goat. And before my dad moved over here, he was like working with this contractor where basically we'll watch over his stock.
Mm-hmm.
And then my dad would get paid by like with stocks, right?
Oh, okay.
And that I don't remember his name, but he's like an older gentleman. He had like a hole in his throat.
Oh, because of
and he was like millionaire and like super rich beyond that I can imagine, right? To the point where like he had peacocks and like all rare animals with a big farm in his like he has a mansion. Yes, like I want to be that rich one day.
Don't we all?
Yeah, and he had like no kids, nobody. So like all he did is like for animals. Him and his wife can't have kids, so like everything was about animals, right? And then I think my dad would have made a deal where at the point like we had at one point of our life we had about 200, 300 livestocks outside, and we're taking care. Took care of it. Like honestly, the biggest reason that I wanted to become a vet is just because of that life. Like that's something that I learned so much. And I think I was like 9 years old, and have you ever worked with livestock, herds and all that?
Nah.
Okay, I don't know.
My mom had a boyfriend a while ago that used to sell animals at the flea market.
Yep.
So he had like birds, he had chickens, he had like a lot of. That's the closest I got to it, And
we watched.
No, actually, I went there like maybe
help.
twice and I helped him, but it's like just basic, like chickens. He had
guinea pigs.
He had guinea pigs. He had birds, like a lot of exotic birds, but that's as far as we got.
So like something with stocks, like you can have about 150, 250 goats and lamb, and one of the part of it, like you still give them food, but you want that natural like grass, so they can actually grow better and it's better.
To walk them there.
So you walk them about 2-3 miles away from the house, and it's wildlife, right? And the hardest part is like making sure they're on control and you don't lose nothing. So you have dogs all around.
Oh yeah, the prairie.
Exactly. Yeah. If you ever seen like the cowboy, all that old, it's similar. Yeah. And one day on the way back, we were close to home, and then one of the sheep, she just sat in, and she was pregnant, but she sat down and she could not move. And I didn't know a lot, but I would watch the vet, and I'm very observant. If I learn by watching other people, and legit, turned the head, pulled it, and I helped deliver the goat. Nice. And I was like 9 or 10 years old.
Damn, that's
wow,
crazy. That's crazy.
Since then, like I don't know. I don't know why I did that. Honestly, I was in the moment. It was like, I know that animal needed help and I need to do something about it. And I didn't think, I was like, oh shit, my hands were dirty. I didn't care. No gloves, nothing. I just wild it. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Wow.
That's dope. That's dope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what's funny, because it was his herd, and they were expensive. Like these herds were expensive because I delivered that one. He actually gave it to me. The owner.
Oh,
yeah.
nice.
He was like,
Baby.
that's yours. And that's the baby.
Nice.
I was like, damn.
Damn. That's crazy. That's
Now like bringing out like childhood memories. Damn.
So now I know when my horses need to give birth or something, I'm calling Vet Aladdin.
Horses is a little too much for me, but goats, anything like that for sure.
Yeah. Well, kind of when we moved in here, we thought, oh, let's get a dog. We got a dog right away.
I wanted a pig.
Yep. And this is the thing. She's like, oh, like, want a miniature pig. Oh, yeah, let's do it. And this is the thing. When I set my mind into something, I'll do it.
Yeah.
Same thing with the bull terriers that we got. Same thing with the guinea pigs. Like, once you tell me, like, okay, I want this and I want it too, I'm going to start looking. And we got close into, like, getting a pig. But I never got to.
They grow too big.
Yeah, because even though they're miniature, they still get pretty big size. I'm like, where are we going to keep a big pig, around here?
Yeah.
Like, we have a yard and all, but it's not, like, huge. So, like, okay. But,
I got you.
You can bring it to a little farm.
yeah, but, yeah. Do you guys have any questions for us?
Not really, honestly. I don't think we had prepared any questions, but
How'd you guys feel?
Good.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Whoa, 10:30.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah.
You're right. I was a little nervous at the start, but overall, I think it's super. Yeah.
Usually that's what it is because, like, you can be, like, very talkative, but when there's a mic in there, like,
It's intimidating, the lights and everything.
Yeah. So, yeah, like, usually I tell everybody when I invite people, like, it's kind of like, nervous, like, within, like, the 2-3 minutes, and then it just starts flowing naturally.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. No, but thank you guys for coming in. We really like the conversation. And you never know, like, maybe come back next time
For
with an update or something.
Appreciate you guys having me.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. And I just want to say before we close this off, hopefully, like, down in the future, because, like, she's pregnant, right?
Yeah.
Congratulations
again.
Yeah, thank you. Right? So we're almost there, October. You never know, we might need a godparent. So just throwing it out there.
Okay. I'll be honored, honestly.
Yeah.
I'll be honored.
We talked about it. So, just FYI. I know you didn't know, but now you know.
Thank you.
Cool. Awesome. All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you on the next one.